All right. Well, yeah, there been a couple other agencies just joining in a couple minutes, but we'll go ahead and get started. For those of you that have joined, so I appreciate everybody showing up today and hearing a little bit about public surplus and our new partnership that we have with the Association of Idaho Cities. So I've started to share my screen here, which I just wanted to start off by showing you the AIC's website, where you can find public surplus and this partnership. So for those of you that don't know anything about public surplus, we are an online government auctioneer, and are nationwide. We work with agencies all over the country, but Idaho is one of our biggest states that we do business in. Part of that is we have a longer partnership that we've had with the county association, and that did very well. And so we decided we should see if we can help the cities as well and help financially with that association. So here on their website, you can see public surplus right here. I'm going to talk a little bit more in detail about what the benefits of this partnership is in a little bit, but if after you see what we go through today and want to sign up, you want to sign up through this link here on their website, which is click here to sign up for public surplus. And that will take you to a specific registration for public surplus, but specifically with Idaho Cities Cooperative that we have. Now, let's switch my share screen here over to my other here so I can pull up a PowerPoint. So to talk a little bit more about public surplus specifically, I'm going to go through a quick PowerPoint presentation just to give you guys a little more background about public surplus in our company, and then I'll also take you over to our website so you can get a better idea of what that looks like too. But starting off, or if this is your first introduction to public surplus, just to cover some basics, I already mentioned that we're an online government auctioneer, but we've been around since 2001. I think I also mentioned we're nationwide, work with over 6,000 agencies across the country. I mentioned Idaho being one of our biggest states, and another part of that is the state of Idaho actually uses us for their surplus disposal as well. But on average, we get about 7 million hits a day on our website, have one of the largest qualified buyer databases in the nation, and then we do also exclusively work with government agencies. And I like to point that last one out there just to give you a good indication of what separates us from like an eBay, if you will, where eBay is more specifically designed for a private company or a private citizen to hold an auction. Our system is solely designed around helping government agencies with their auctions. So we've really tailored our system around that. And you'll see what I'm talking about as I go through this. And I do like to clarify there as well, anybody can be a buyer, but what I mean exclusive for government is just the seller side of things. Only government agencies can be sellers. On this next slide here, I have 3 things listed on the screen. So these 3 things are what we think separate us from our competition. And when I say competition, I just mean that in a general sense, just any other way of getting rid of surplus. But I will touch on each of these individually. The first one is our audit trail / transparency. So one of the great things when you use public surplus is all the information and data from your surplus disposal on our site is automatically collected and put into reports that you can access at any time. So this, for one, can make your life easier if you're used to creating your own paper trail with your surplus disposal, because no longer would you need to do that. Our system automatically does that for you, as well as if you got audited or maybe just needed to show someone a monthly or a year-end report. It's very easy to access those reports and convey that to whoever you need to. And the second point here is just how easy our system is to learn and use. And this one was a big one for us when we were developing public surplus. And the reason it was is because we understood that the majority of agencies that would use public surplus, the person that would be in charge of surplus disposal would typically tell us it's not their #1 job, that they usually wear multiple hats for their agency. And a lot of times it's lower on their priority list as well. So understanding that, we wanted to make sure that we offered a very efficient and streamlined process for you so that you can get rid of your surplus in a good way, but still save time for the other stuff you have on your plate. Now, this one is better shown to you when I actually get to the website itself, but I will just say for now, it really just takes a couple minutes to create an auction. Then the third reason here is increase in revenue. And, this goes back to the first slide that I showed you with the numbers that I mentioned with, how many agencies that use us, how many buyers we have, mentioning like the state of Idaho uses us, and many other cities and counties throughout the state that utilize our system already as well, to give you a good indication of why you would see an increase in revenue. Just by opening yourself up to more buyers and bringing more buyers to the table, that's going to create competition, bidding wars, all that good stuff, which ultimately makes sure that you get the best sales price possible and the most revenue coming back to your agency. Now, there can be some other financial benefits as well to utilizing public surplus. One of them is potential lower storage costs for you. The reason for this is a lot of agencies that I've worked with that, prior to using public surplus, maybe did like a live auction or a sealed bid process, they would typically tell me that they would stockpile up their surplus until they had enough of it to make it worth their time to do that whole process. And what they found, though, when using public surplus, and what you may find is since it is so easy to create an auction on our system, you can sell things as they come up, so sooner rather than later. And that, of course, can save on storage space for you. There can also be potential savings on transportation costs. Depending on what your current process is if you currently, have to move it across town or to another city, or pay someone to come pick up your surplus to a location as well, all those costs are eliminated by using public surplus. The reason for that is everything's designed to be sold as is, where is on our site. So wherever you have the item, you don't have to move it at all. You can make that the pickup location when you create the auction. Whoever the winning bidder is, then knows that they would need to coordinate with you and pick up directly from there. We do like to ask agencies, though, on what kind of financial difference they typically see when they start using us. And we found that's about a 50 to 200% net revenue increase. And then when we're talking about vehicles and specialty items, that's about 16 to 35%. Now, on this next slide here, I just want to show some unique auctions that we've held on our site before. The reason I show you these unique auctions is just because I want to make sure you know that we don't just handle like vehicles or equipment type of sales, and that we can help you with any type of surplus you have. And actually, we do very well with the more miscellaneous and odd surplus you may have. And the reason we do well with those types of items is bringing more buyers to the table. So, the saying I like to use here for these types of surplus items you may have is, one man's junk is another man's treasure, where you may have had trouble selling it in the past because not a lot of people see the value in that surplus, so there's just not a big market for it. But with that saying, I believe it to be true. I just think you have to be able to find that person. And so that's what we're just offering you. It's just a better opportunity to put you in front of the right type of people that are interested in those items as well, so that you can sell them rather than, getting rid of them in another way, like throwing them away or whatever you may have done. Now, last slide here. So at this point, you're probably wondering, well, how much does it cost to use public surplus? So we're actually completely free to use. There's no like registration fees, no listing fees, no annual dues or anything like that. We strictly make our money through a fee passed on to the buyer. So what this concept's called, if you're not familiar with it, it's called a buyer's premium. It's a percentage the buyer will pay on top of the overall sale price. So normally our buyer's premium would be 10.5%. So one of the benefits actually to this new partnership we have with AIC is that we have a negotiated rate change to 10%. So you get 0.5% off that buyer's premium, bringing that down to 10%. Being a good saving for you guys as a city, but also to the potential local buyers that you have, not having to pay as much there. Outside of that, that is the only way we make money as a company, is that if you list something, it sells and the buyer pays that premium. Now, since we're free to use, we also don't require any contracts to use our system. Majority of agencies that use us at an at-will base. And really, our hopes for you today is that with the information provided, you'll be interested in doing a pilot of public surplus, testing us out, see how you like it. If you like it, great, you can continue to use us. And if you don't like it, there is no obligation on your end to continue to use us, making doing that pilot a very no risk, high reward situation. Now, lastly, I kind of want to talk about the one other benefit to the AIC partnership as well. So we talked about the 0.5% off to the buyer's premium, bringing you down to 10%. And then the other benefit is that 10% of all the revenue that public surplus generates from any agencies that is part of this partnership, and they sign up through that link that I showed you, is then a financial support that we provide to the association as well, giving them a good way to generate funds for all the things that they do for you guys as well. And so those are really the kind of the two main benefits there to utilizing public surplus through that partnership. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for just a moment while I switch back to the website. All right, so you should be able to see that now. And I have publicsurplus.com on the screen now. So if you've never been to our website before, I want to quickly show everybody just what it would look like from a buyer's perspective, and then I'll show you what it looks like from a seller's perspective. So starting off with the buyer's perspective, you'll see here on our homepage, we just have featured auctions that will rotate throughout the country. Then as a buyer, if we wanted to look at just auctions from Idaho, we could click on Idaho specifically, and then it will just narrow our search down to Idaho, as well as if we wanted to narrow things down even further than that by agency. These are all the agencies that have registered and have accounts with public surplus throughout the state. So as I mentioned, it's one of our biggest states, so there's quite a few agencies that have accounts with us. We could also search in the middle of the screen here by keyword, or we could narrow things down by category. So anything from furniture, electronics, computers, heavy equipment. I'll go to motor pool here, for example. You'll see when we click into motor pool, there's even subcategories we can narrow things down even further by. I'm just going to click on one of these ending auctions here. So we can see Idaho Falls actually has a 2004 Ford F-250 pickup on the site currently. They listed this April 9th, and it ends tomorrow. We can see all the photos that they included of this truck. Then come over here, we can see the exact time left is 18 hours and 45 minutes. We do see they do have a reserve price on this auction. So if you're not familiar with reserve prices, from a buyer's perspective, we don't know what the reserve price is. We just know if it's been met or not. So that's why it says in this red text that the reserve has not been met. And then once it does reach that, it will switch to green text and say reserve has been met. We can see the current price is $1,550, 2 bids on it currently. And then scroll down here to the description box. And this is just additional information they included. So we can see there, they gave us the mileage. And then they had some other descriptive things saying there's no AC, engine runs normal, but does burn some oil, stuff like that. Anything that you have there, you can provide that to the buyers. So that's what it looks like from a buyer's perspective. I'm going to now jump over to our demo site. And the reason I go to a demo site here is so I can show you what it looks like to be a seller without messing with anybody's actual account. So let's say you're logged in to an account with public surplus. There's 2 main tabs that you'll operate out of, this auctions tab and then this tools tab here. I'm going to go to the tools tab first. So this is where you can administratively manage your account. So just to showcase a few things out of here, one, you'll be able to create as many users in the city as you may need for your public surplus account. And when you create a user as well, it's a permission-based system. So you're able to give them administrative access where they have all the permissions, or you can use some of our preset roles here, like auction creator slash employee. This is a preset that we have mainly for if you want to set someone up where you just want them to be able to create an auction, but you don't want them to be able to release it, and maybe only you can do that, or an administrator can do that. So there's different things you can do there when setting up different users. This is also where you can manage the different pickup locations or potential locations you'll have items for pickup. This is also where you can manage departments within your account. So if you want to have it set up where you have various different departments within your account, so you can keep that all separate. And it's mainly for reporting reasons. When you pull that, or on the financial side, if you need us to remit the funds to you with different departments to different locations, we can set that up as well. Now, out of the Tools tab, this is also where you can access reports. So the reports that I mentioned earlier during the PowerPoint, this is where you go, select the dates you want, click View Report. It's going to generate that for you. You can then download this to an Excel sheet, PDF, print it off, whatever you may need. So that's a little bit from the Tools tab here. I'm going to now jump over to the Auctions tab. So this is where you can this is where you can manage and create auctions or within your account. So you come here, you'll see below that there's 5 tabs that appear. The furthest to the right is the Sell tab. So this is the one-page template you fill out to create an auction. I'm just going to run through this real quick so you can kind of get an idea of what that would look like. So the first thing you do is just set your time frame. So how long do you want the auction to run for? Say we want to do 14 days. Select the time of day we want the auction to end. 3 o'clock sounds good. Select our category. Put in a title. Now we do have templates here to make your life a little bit easier with anything with like a VIN number or serial number. So like a vehicles template allows you to put in the VIN year, make, model. Better yet, actually, there's a vehicle VIN populate. So as long as it's just a standard street vehicle, you're able to put the VIN number in here and it will actually auto-populate the rest of the information for you. Then you have your general description box, which just any additional information you want to include, you can put that information there. Upload images and documents, so you're able to add as many photos or documents necessary for your auction. You can also add video if you wanted as well. Then you can select your condition, so anywhere from excellent to poor to unknown or see description. Then these next few fields, these are optional fields, but they're mainly for reporting reasons. So item code / tag, this is if you have like an internal number you associate with the item you're listing on our site, like an asset number. You want that number to match up in our system, so when you pull reports, that number matches up. And then this is also where you can manage departments. So you can select which department's selling what from here. Then we'll want to select the pickup location for this item, select the main contact we want here, taxes if applicable, and then your minimum price. That's just your starting price. And then as I showed you on this other auction here, you can set a reserve price, but it's completely optional to if you want to or not. And that's it. You click save and that will create the auction. So this is our more traditional way of creating an auction. I do like to also mention that we have a mobile app auction creator that can actually even speed up the process even more. The real benefit to that mobile app, if you decided to utilize it, is when you're standing out in front of the surplus and gathering the information, specifically the photos, you can take the photos directly from that app and then it sends those photos directly to our website. Just being a good time saver and cutting out some of the middle steps there. But whether you use the mobile app or the Sell tab here, they all end up in the same place, which is your Held tab. So from here, within your Held tab, the auctions can sit here as long as you need them to until you're ready to go live with them. You can revise them from in here as well. But once you're ready to go live, you just want to check mark the auctions you want to go live with, click Release Checked Auctions. That will push it out on the site for where you can then go to the Current tab and monitor the auction by seeing how much time is left, how many bids are on it, what the current price is at. And then when the auctions are over, they'll come to your Close tab. And from here, you'll be able to see if it's sold or not. So this green light indicates it's sold. This orange light indicates it did not sell. For the ones that did sell, you'll see this printer icon that will allow you to email or print a bill of sale for the buyer to sign when they come pick up the surplus. Once it's been paid for, and actually, I don't think I fully mentioned this, but we do collect the final payment from the buyer and then remit the funds to your agency. And so once we've received those funds, we will send you an email notification, but you'll also see this paid stamp appear here. If you click on that paid stamp, you can see some information on how the buyer paid. You can add comments or attachments to the end of the auction if there's anything you needed to for record keeping. And then you can also mark it picked up once it has been. Once you mark it picked up, this green truck will appear, and then you'll see for your records it's been paid for and picked up. All right, so that is the auctions tab there. And really, actually, kind of the general overview of our system. I guess where I'll kind of close things here, and I'll open up for questions here for any agencies that have some, is I appreciate everyone's time today, and let me go through this. Again, really our hope here is that you'll be interested in doing a pilot of public surplus and testing us out. And again, to do that, you want to make sure you register through the AIC website link under associates, and then affiliate partners, and then scroll down and you'll find public surplus. My contact information is right there, so you're more than welcome to reach me from there. And then to register, you just click sign up here, and then I will take you to the specific link for registering under the partnership. But yeah, I would like to open up the floor to anybody that may have questions for me.
Could you post the link to that in the chat?
Yeah, yeah,
Please.
of course.
Thank you.
So I just sent that link, which takes you to where you can find public surplus, and then I also just sent the direct link to the registration for that partnership. Yes, of course. Were there any other questions out there? All right. Well, I will say I will hang out on this call for a minute or two if anybody wants to stick around and talk to me more or has questions. But for those of you that are good to go, I really do appreciate your time, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.
Awesome. Thank you, Jared, so much. I'll post this recording up on our website somewhere. We can get it out to our members as well.
Great. Yeah, thank you, Xander. Appreciate your help on this.
Yeah, no worries.